but like you can't actually sit here. Say hi. Say hi. I'm scooping you. Don't hit me. You can sit in my lap if you want. No, she's leaving. Okay, so today I know I get a lot of people who are constantly asking me about light to fair olive skin, because that's what I have. And to be clear, my skin, in case you don't know, because I know that people who do know are sick of hearing it, I would say fair to light. I'd say I'm pretty fair. Warm olive, that's my undertone. So my skin tends to look like kind of more of a yellowy green. And I've had a lot of people, I know that that's a really difficult undertone to find products for. So I thought that I would share with you my favorite bronzers for, I think someone requested this like forever ago. My favorite bronzers for fair to light olive skin. And I'm gonna be doing swatches, and we can talk about the differences because there's definitely like a spectrum, but I'm gonna be talking about the ones that I like to use the most. So the first one is going to be obvious because it's the one that I've been using the most in like my most recent videos, and that's Nars San Juan. I really love this color. I came across it on Sephora, I think, and it just like, it's so hard with online swatches to like see if something is going to be right. I feel like website descriptions are just always garbage, like they're so bad. So I was intrigued by this, but I didn't really know if it would work until I went into the store and I saw it. And even then, like, I realized that the Sephora lighting, like, that they have on the displays is so, like, misleading. It's so, I would look at it under that lighting in the display, and then I would pick it up and take it out, and I would be like, well, it looks completely different. And then I would, like, go walk over to a window, and it would look completely different. And I was like, oh my God. So I took my own advice. I swatched it on my arm, went outside, looked, and I thought it would be really nice. So the irony of this video is that I'm not even wearing bronzer today. I just did some contour because I did a recreation. But this is a really beautiful, like, obviously it's a little bit more on the pale sort of orangey side, but it has this really nice warmth to it that I think is particularly flattering for a fair, warm skin tone. It doesn't have like too much red in it. It's a little bit more on the yellowy orange side, which I find to be very, very flattering. It just gives your skin that really nice sun-kissed look. I'm going to talk about them and then we'll compare the swatches. It also has a matte finish, which is really nice. I don't know, I guess I prefer like a matte bronzer, typically. The next one is Revlon Skin Lights. I love this color. This is Sunlit Glow 110. The Revlon bronzers are really, really stunning. You can see that this is a little bit more of a neutral look. Compared to that one, it's almost a little bit more cool toned. Actually, if we just compare them, I'll compare swatches in a minute, but it's much more neutrally. So it still has kind of that gold, but it's a little bit softer, a little bit more neutral. It doesn't have quite as much of that warmth. But what's nice about this is that it does have a little bit of pearl in it, and the pearl is warm. It's kind of like a warm yellow or gold. So the base of the bronzer is pretty neutral. I guess I'll swatch them now. And it has a really fine pearl in it. So that pearl is very, very fine. So it just gives your skin such a beautiful glow. Like if I really want to glow, then this is like a really great option. Plus it's Revlon, so it's drugstore, it's affordable. I guess I'm just doing swatches now. So that's Revlon, what is this called? Skin Lights. I love the sheen that it gives. And that's gonna be just better if you're looking for something that's gonna be a little bit more neutral. If you feel like bronzers tend to pull very like warm on you or almost too orangey, then San Juan might be like a little too much, but it's also really light. And the formula of, sorry, I'm hopping back to San Juan. The formula of San Juan is very sheer, so it's difficult to build up too much. Like I would say that the Revlon Skin Lights actually has a little bit more pigment. So that's San Juan. So you can see there's a little bit more of that, like, it's got more red in it. And San Juan has that like light kind of yellowy orange look, which just looks so pretty against my skin tone, you know? Sometimes, I mean, I love this, but if I go any more red than this, it really brings out the green in my skin and I just end up looking like a total zombie, you know? So undertones are really important, we know that. And then the last one, well, it's the last one that I have to show you. is actually not a bronzer. So this is Bareminerals. It's the matte foundation in Golden Beige 13. So you guys have probably seen me use this as well. I kind of just like, you know, you switch up like what you're down to use or whatever. This is really beautiful. It's actually kind of golden. Oh, it's called Golden Beige, duh. And that's actually why I started using it as a bronzer. So I bought it, I actually can't remember if I bought it specifically to use it as a bronzer, but I remember seeing the color online and I was like, ooh, I feel like that would be actually a really beautiful bronzing shade for me. It is obviously a loose powder. It's meant to be a foundation, and it is broad spectrum SPF 16. I mean, sorry, 15. What? Like, what is broad spectrum 16? Stop. It's much lighter than the other ones, and it's much more golden. It doesn't really have that orange in it, so you can't even really see it. I'll give you guys a deep zoom in a second. But I was using this for a while, and if you're incredibly fair and you're looking for something that's going to be like more golden, or if you feel like for whatever reason bronzers just end up being like so dark on you, this is a really good option. In fact, one of my best pieces of advice that I can give you is if you feel like no bronzers are working for you, take a look at like setting powders that they have like a very varying shade ranges. For instance, oh fuck, is it Wet n Wild or Maybelline? I think it's Maybelline. Has all those setting powders like in the square containers, and they're like every undertone, like every color you could possibly get. I actually used one of those as a bronzer. I can't remember which one, but like way back. So I think I remember hearing this tip from Jaclyn Hill. She used like MAC foundation powders as bronzers, and I can't remember what her reasoning was, but I do feel like it's a lot easier if you're using a foundation to find an undertone that's going to work for you better. But it kind of depends on the product and it depends on the brand. Let me give you a deep zoom so we can like really see the difference here. Okay, so Revlon, I keep forgetting what it's called, Skin Lights. Revlon Skin Lights is a little bit more neutral, neutral undertone. So on my skin, because I'm very like green, it pulls a little bit more red, but I think you can, like especially right there, you can probably see that gold reflect. So it's a little bit more versatile. It also gives you that like really beautiful just sheen on your skin. Nars San Juan is obviously a little bit more of that like yellowy orange. This has been my favorite bronzer recently. It just gives me like island vibes, you know? It makes me feel like I've been sitting on like just chilling on the beach in Turks and Caicos, and I just gotten like the most beautiful glow from it. Golden Beige from Bareminerals is perfect for warm, very fair skin, obviously. It's impossible to like build it up and make it too dark. It is matte, just so you know, and it is a foundation powder. It does contain SPF, and it is a loose powder. So one of my favorite brushes to apply that with was the Morphe M510, which is around here somewhere. This guy, something a little bit like fluffier, and you guys have probably seen me applying that in previous videos. So one of the reasons that I wanted to show you this is because it really is a spectrum, I think. It's not necessarily going to be like exactly one undertone. Obviously, like so many brands carry so many different kinds of bronzers. I wanted to share with you the ones that I think are best for fair to light olive skin. I just wanted to share with you the ones that have worked best for me. And I can say that really quickly, if I'm using a foundation that makes me look a little bit more yellow, for instance, I have a Tom Ford foundation that makes me look so freaking yellow, then I will usually opt for my Revlon bronzer because it's not quite as warm, so it kind of tones down that yellow, if that makes sense. This actually, I'm probably going to go into depth about this in a different video because I asked you if you wanted to see a video where I talk about making the wrong undertone work for certain products, and that's kind of like we're dipping our toes into that explanation right there. So if my foundation is too yellow, then I'm going to go in with a more neutral bronzer. If my foundation is like a little bit more neutral, or I don't know, just like spot on, whatever, I feel like this one is the most flattering. And honestly, I haven't really been using that, but I really did love it. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I've been kind of like going in a little bit more. It really depends on like the depth that you want. But I love the Bare Mineral formulas. I love that they have SPF 15. So, and they have like such a shade range. So if you have not been able to find like a bronzer that is working for your skin tone, try checking out a foundation, a powder foundation. And Bare Minerals is a great one. Yeah, I don't know, random. I never know if these kinds of videos are actually helpful or not, where I'm just like talking about things. But I know that a lot of you have asked, and I had other ones that I would definitely recommend, like BH Cosmetics Golden Gal, but I think they discontinued it. That was like my favorite bronzer for my skin tone. But I'm pretty sure it's no longer with us. I don't know. So I would appreciate it, obviously, if you would, since this is a limited list, if you would leave me your favorite bronzers, if you happen to be like, well, whatever your favorite bronzer is and whatever your skin tone is, that would be great, because that's always really helpful to have that in the comments. Yeah, let me know if you want to see like, I don't know, a series on blushes and highlights. That's all I got for you. Continuing my streak as the worst YouTuber ever. Awkward goodbye. Bye. Siva, I'm sorry I kicked you out of your chair.